Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, back here once again with another awesome video. Uh, excuse me. Why the Japanese were the evilest and most immoral army of World War II. I forget why, but this doesn't surprise me because I did a video. It was part of the world. It was a World War II video in Japan. I think had to do with like the British trying to take over an island in Japan, or it was some kind of battle in Japan area. I totally forget what it was called. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a while probably know exactly what video I'm talking about. But I forget. I really forget that battle. But I do remember in the video. I remember thinking, this doesn't seem like it seems kind of worse than the Germans. I mean, kind of thing, or as bad, as far as just immoral stuff going on. So this doesn't surprise me, uh, but I don't remember why. I'm sure it has to do a lot with death and torture. Like, I'm pretty sure of that, obviously. So we're gonna dive into this and see exactly how bad it was. Yeah, let's check it out. Before you do, please hit that like and subscribe button below. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah. Dun, dun, dun. What am I doing? Let's do it. By the way, this is we're watching a video by the front. The new channel I found lately. It's not a new channel, but new channel to me. And I actually like when I was scrolling through videos. They got a lot of cool different stuff, and so definitely check that out. I'll definitely be doing more videos by them. So yeah. All right.
Just a foreword before we get into today's video. Despite the vibe this channel gives when discussing the actions of the Japanese in World War II, I must say that I have no ill will toward contemporary Japanese society and all its peoples. I respect the force for good they've become on the world stage and the astounding positive economic impact they've had on a global scale. With that said, I do not and will not ever rescind my belief that the Japanese were as bad, if not worse than the Nazi Party in World War II, and make these videos to educate people on the mostly unknown and untaught atrocities of the Imperial Japanese Army in their various campaigns. In Imperial Japan, honor was everything, and someone who had lost their honor.
Well, that's kind of like with me when I watch videos. Like if I don't like something, it's pretty much me in the moment in that time period. If I'm saying something bad about something, it's not actually how I feel about those people in general today. So, but I think that kind of goes without being said. But anyways, yes. Bye.
In Imperial Japan, honor was everything, and someone who had lost their honor and displeased their ancestors was treated like an animal and was essentially shunned by society as a whole. This absolute obsession with honor translated tenfold onto the battlefield, and the Japanese came to be known as the most fearless fighting force of World War II. With this fearlessness, however, also came brutality, and an abundance of it too. Anybody who was unfortunate enough to be cornered by the Japanese and forced to surrender could expect years of brutality. It's well known that civilians of China and Southeast Asia were routinely raped and murdered by vile Japanese soldiers, and that civil disobedience in these Japanese-controlled territories was punishable by torture and death. As if it wasn't bad enough for the civilians, the Japanese had a burning hatred for enemies who had decided to surrender instead of die fighting. As many of you know, this led to hard labor, beatings, torture, and malnourishment to such an extreme level that the prisoners of liberated Japanese prison camps were described as looking like those liberated at Auschwitz. In addition to this, as we've covered in a previous video, the Japanese also implemented a kill-all order that stated as soon as the first American soldier set foot on the Japanese homeland, all Japanese soldiers would be ordered to behead, stab, burn, or shoot the 100,000 or so remaining Allied troops still in the prison camps. One infamous example of Japanese inhumanity toward prisoners in World War II was the Sandokan Death March, which I'll be covering in full sometime soon. Essentially, approximately 2,700 British and Australian troops were forced to march through the steamy jungles of Borneo, only to be shot when they reached their destination. Only 6 men escaped, and only 1 man survived it all. When an influx of new prisoners eventually came in to build an airstrip in 1942, the same group of guards would randomly execute groups of prisoners, so there was more rice for the Japanese guards. According to one war crime testimony, a Japanese sergeant told one group of condemned prisoners, "There's no rice, so I'm killing the lot of you today. Is there anything you want to say?" But in my opinion, by far the worst thing the Japanese did were the vivisections they performed on live subjects. As we all know, Unit 731 was the Japanese.
I guess they're going to get into that, but it's like, if I'm gonna be captured, if I'm gonna die, just please just kill me off. Please don't torture me. Like just stab me and kill me off, or shoot me, or behead me. But like, I guess now that they're gonna get into, like, I guess if you sit there and do like, you actually try to torture someone, but I don't know, maybe like cutting fingers off or whatnot. Like that's gotta be the worst. And like, if you knew this going into like a battle, with the Japanese, and you're cornered. There's no way they're taking me alive. Like I'd force them to like just shoot me or something. Because no way, man. That's good. Oh, that's just a terrifying thing to think about. And I'm not even into the details yet.
Unit tasked with doing these monstrous experiments overseas. However, what many don't know is that if you were unfortunate enough to be an American airman shot down over Japanese airspace, Japanese universities were happy to use you as a live prac for their students. An infamous example of this was at Kyushu University, where 8 American airmen who were recovered from a B-29 shot down near the end of the war were taken to the anatomy department at the university, where they had their organs ripped out of their body while they were still alive. One prisoner was shot in the stomach to give surgeons practice removing bullets, another had parts of his body amputated while he was still alive, and another had one of his lungs removed and then was stitched back up to see what would happen. There were many other stories similar to these atrocities that took place on Japanese soil, and the list of horrible.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, no. But I wonder if this was well known back then to the troops, like the airmen that got shot down. Like, was this something they knew, or did they think they would be treated like maybe any other prisoner of war in the rest of the world, kind of thing? Because obviously, if you don't know this, you're gonna think, okay, they're gonna be thrown into a prison. I might go hungry or whatnot. But if you knew that this might be happening to you, there's no way that these soldiers were just gave up. Wow, that's insane. And like I said, I haven't heard. This is obviously why this doesn't surprise me, because the previous series or video I watched, they say some of them being the most brutal. Because I haven't heard anything about doing autopsies or anything in the concentration camps, in Germany and whatnot. So definitely is outdoing the Germans right now.
Experiments Japanese doctors performed could go on for hours. However, I think we'll leave it at that, and I hope this video gave you a good idea to the level of sadism the Japanese were at in World War II. And as per usual, I want to know what you think. What are your opinions on the Japanese in World War II? Do you know of anyone who was a prisoner of theirs? Let me know in the comments section below. And just before you go, guys, if you...
Okay, so yeah, so why? I'm trying to think. I guess because Europe had got the most attention, because you never hear like this, obviously, about the Japanese, like the bad things they did. Like, yeah, it's just something like when you grow up, this me through life, you just never heard of it. You never heard of these bad things. Was it kept like more under wraps? Were they able to keep it more under wraps, or there's just not as that much footage on it, so it's just not as well known? Because this is pretty bad, and it feels like it's kind of got swept under the rug through history. Uh, and but yet, like, there's the Germans did it, and obviously so, and deservedly so, have a big spotlight on what was happened over there. but I feel like this deserved a big spotlight on it too. And it's kind of amazing how, it was World War II, wasn't like too long ago. It's recent history. Depends on I guess what you think about recent history. But anyways, how Germany and Japan like today are just amazing, thriving, top tier countries today. So it's amazing, like the big turnaround both countries have done. But anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts below, because man, torture is insane. It's like I said, their honor is everything, and they think if you give up, you know, and surrender without going down, without a fight, at least they're saying like, "Hey, why are you surrendering? Shouldn't you fight to your last breath? Because that means you could have probably took out one or two more before you died, but instead you're surrendering." So I guess that's just a big no-no to them, and yeah. Like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below and all that fun stuff. Well, it's not really fun stuff, but this is definitely interesting, and it's just, I don't know, very, you know, I don't know. It seems like we would all know more about this. I think I've said some of these stuff like this in the actual other series I did. I just don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I have. But we just didn't get the details and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, yeah, like and subscribe, and yeah, catch you guys in future videos. I am out here. Thank you for watching.